I signed up for 3 different copy trade alert services and tried them out for 7 days. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you the results. My name is Ross Cameron. I'm already a full-time trader. I funded my first account back in 2001. So if anyone should be able to make money using an alert service, it's me. Now, the reason I did this challenge was because so many traders in the comments actually asked me to set up a copy trade alert service. So I wanted to kind of try out a few of the competitors out there and see what they were like. And I thought, maybe if this works pretty well, maybe it is something that I would consider. Certainly the demand is there. There's a lot of people offering these kinds of services. So here's the question. Do they really work as well as they claim? Let's go ahead and jump on the screen share and start breaking it down. So first, I'm going to walk you through my process of choosing alert services to subscribe to. Over on Instagram and Facebook, I am inundated with ads for different trade alert services. Trade coaching, options trading, penny stocks, you name it, I'm getting an ad for it. So I went through a bunch of them and ultimately decided that I would start by subscribing to a free service. I thought, look, why pay? There's a bunch of free services out there. Let's see how good they are. So I found this one free service that is literally saying, just copy my trades. But the one thing that they said, which I thought was kind of a little egregious, was that we guarantee a return of over 80% if you follow our strategy, and we will take full responsibility for any losses. Okay, let's go ahead and try it out. So this is a free alert service, and the features include a private chat room group, buy and sell trade alerts, and daily watch lists. So I'm thinking, this is great. This is exactly what I'm looking for here, and it's free. So I end up getting into this WhatsApp group, and you can see here that on their landing page, they again say earn $10,000 to $30,000 profit every day. We guarantee it. And then they say, join the WhatsApp group with 86 spots left. So I'm naturally already feeling pretty skeptical. In fact, I'm thinking that there's like a 99% chance that I'm going to get into this, and then they're going to start telling me to go buy some random cryptocurrency. But in the chat, this woman, Erica, although it's probably some dude from who knows where, but anyway, she has a cute little profile picture too, which makes me think it's definitely a dude that I'm talking to. She says, what are you here for? The top 10 breakout stocks or some premium stock picks today? So I said premium stock picks today, and that sent me into this trade alert group. Now, I ended up getting my first alert for AEHR. And this is a stock that kind of surprised me on the surface. Now, because this is in a WhatsApp group, I do get the notification on my phone whenever an alert comes in. So, it's kind of a little bit noisy because I also get the notifications when anyone in the group chats. But for the most part, there's not a lot of chatting. It's just these alerts. So I got this alert for AEHR, and it was sort of, this long-winded explanation of why, it's a good maybe company to buy. It almost reads to me like ChatGPT. It doesn't read like normal English writing to me. It just doesn't. I don't know. Not any, knocks against ChatGPT, but it just doesn't feel quite right. So I got this alert and I pulled up the stock immediately. And I noticed it's a 27 million share float, and it only had 900,000 shares of volume. There's no news. There's no clear catalyst. It was below the 200 moving average, which is typically what we would look at as resistance. And I felt like there's literally no opportunity to make money on this today. And yet there's people posting the memes in the chat room. Please, babe, take some profit. No, I'm buying more. So then Erica, says if you've successfully built a position, please make sure to privately message me a screenshot of your entry. Now, I didn't do that, but that does make me curious what would have happened if I had. So I didn't really engage with that. But here's the chart of AEHR. So you can see it's 27 million shares float stock. It's below the 200 moving average, which is right here. It's priced like $10 a share. But this is the day we got the alert, and it's doing nothing. I mean, it's like absolutely nothing. So I don't see any reason that this was a good buy alert. But nonetheless, let's play it out. So receive the alert right here. And it did take me a few minutes before I noticed it on my phone. I was doing other things. So buy 1,000 shares at $10.28. That's $10,280 in the position. The best possible exit for this as a day trade was $10.50, which would be $220 on a $10,000 position. However, a few days later, it's just gone down. And to be honest, there really was no opportunity to make good money on this at any time from when the alert came out until now. It just hasn't been a good trade. But hey, look, everyone has a bad trade every now and then. I certainly have a fair share of mine. So I figure, I'll give it a little bit more time. So the next alert is for BTU Energy. And I'm thinking again, this is a 120 million share float. It's got no news. It's got no catalyst. Again, it's just below the 200 EMA, and there is no way to make money on this. Now, on this one, when the alert came out, it did spike up a little bit. So it went from about 1450 up to 1470. Now, that's not uncommon. You send out an alert to, however many people are in this chat, you're going to get some people that buy into it. So you get a little pop there. But for me, really, the best entry would have been 1450, right? So 1,000 shares, 1450, $14,500 on the line. Really, the best possible exit was break even because it popped up for a second and came right back down. So, I guess if you sold it at the top of that pop, you could make $200, 20 cents a share. But it was just so fast. And again, by the time I actually pulled it up, the pop had already happened. So, so there was no chance to make money on this. And what happens the next day? It's selling off. So once again, this is not something I can work with. And I don't really understand the logic behind why this was even alert. So a few days later, it goes lower. All right. So then the next alert is LLY. And on this one, I'm kind of even more shocked because this is a large cap stock. So once again, you've got Zepbound, Moderna, it's a pharmaceutical company. And so all the reasons why it should go up, but it's a 938 million share float, nearly 1 billion shares. There's no clear news or catalyst today or the day that I got the alert. And it's again, just below the 200 EMA. There's no opportunity to make money on this. Now, 10 shares of this is $7,400, just 10 shares. Cause guess what? It's priced at $744 a share. The best possible exit was $745 for a profit of $17.73. So at this point, I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not getting my money's worth. But hey, wait a second. This was free after all. So maybe this is a sort of chat group designed to get people in the door to then send her private messages of your trades and your positions, and then maybe they upsell to something else. I don't know. I'm speculating, but the alerts themselves are not. Look, if I can make money trading them, I don't think they're viable. So the alerts were no good. All right, so I said, look, yeah, I'm being a little cheap. Maybe I've got to, open up my wallet and go for a premium alert service. And again, there's a plethora of choices that I could choose from. And so there was this one in particular. It's $147 a month. And this is what I was kind of looking for because I was like, I want text alerts. I want the alert coming through on my phone saying, this is the message right here of this is the entry, this is the max loss, profit target, etc. So I see this ad, I sign up for it. I'm like, this is perfect. Text messages, that's going to be instant alert. Well, I'm still going to get watch lists, and they also have a chat room. And this one said, too busy to trade live. And I'm not too busy to trade live, in full disclosure. But I'm thinking this is exactly what people are looking for. So all of you guys who are always asking me, Ross, set up copy trades, set up mirror trading. I'm too busy to trade live. This is exactly what you're looking for, right? So I'm thinking this is perfect. And so I go ahead, I sign up, exact entries and exits sent instantly to your devices, no guesswork, no gambling, just precise trades. We only alert the best setups, no noise, just results, no more chasing, no more stress, just smart, sustainable trades delivered straight to you. It doesn't get better than that. And so I sign up and immediately I get an email and it says 4 spots remaining. Now that kind of put me a little bit on guard and I blurred out the name. I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus here. So the first email said, claim your free trial now, 4 spots remaining. But I thought to myself, yeah, right, 4 spots remaining, I don't buy it. So I signed up with a second email address and it said 4 spots remaining. And then I signed up a couple days later with a third email address and it still says 4 spots remaining. So this is creating a sense of urgency, but in this case, it's a false sense of urgency. Now, a sense of urgency is okay. In marketing, you can create a sense of urgency when something is really ending. You know, if you got a 4th of July sale and it's ending on the 4th of July or the 5th of July, there's a real sense of urgency that, oh, look, the sale's ending. It is what it is. But in this case, this is a false sense of urgency because there are always 4 spots remaining. And so you're not supposed to do that. A lot of people do it in marketing and they get away with it, but you're not supposed to do it. So when I see that, I'm immediately thinking, okay, if they're not being honest about this, you know, what else are they not being honest about? But nonetheless, you know, I'm kind of committed. So the next thing says, as soon as you sign up for the alert service, it asks you to apply to do a bootcamp program. It says learn to become a profitable trader in only 60 days. Now, there's no disclaimer here that I saw. So it says, we've taught over 10,000 traders. Will you be next? So I decide not to apply to learn to become a profitable trader in 60 days because it's going to cost more money. So I'm just like, I'm going to disregard that for now. So I end up getting into their chat room. And the first thing I learn is that there are no text alerts. And I'm like, come on. That's literally the primary reason that I signed up. There are no text alerts. The only alerts are just in a Discord channel, which is basically the same as WhatsApp. So now, yeah, you can get the push on your phone, but it's not, it gets all muddled with everything else. And so, you know, this whole idea of too busy to trade live, and then all of a sudden you're getting notifications on your phone every 10 minutes from a Discord chat room. So that, now I'm quite annoyed. I'm like, gosh darn it, this is not going to work for me. But again, nonetheless, I'm committed. So the first alert was on a momentum stock, GITS. And this is a legitimate momentum stock. So I'm like, this is the type of stock that I'm happy to get an alert on. It's moving. It's definitely better than BTU, AEHR, or LOY. So buy 1,000 shares, 327. And that was the buy alert. Entry 327, risking 304, small size. But it dropped immediately to 306. So it dropped. This was the entry right here. It went sideways and then it dropped. It was getting in kind of right before the MACD crossed over. So, I mean, I can understand a dip trade. Again, you know, okay, so that wasn't a winner, but whatever. Second alert, again, on GITS. It was only like a minute later. So I get another alert, but the alert was a little bit late. And so I get the alert right here, but then it's already popped up and dropped down and it's gone back to max loss. And then it says out, full at entry. Now, this is not, in my opinion, super transparent, just for what it's worth. When I'm trading, you see my P&L on my screen share. So this is my P&L right here today. I'm up $40,000. My results are not typical. I've been doing this for a long time. I have 2 stocks I'm red on, lost 10 grand on each of them. And these are the stocks I'm green on. So you can actually see my cost basis when I'm in a trade. So if I mean, there's no real kind of question of like, wait, did he really get out at entry? If, you know, you see exactly my P&L right here. So I mean, whatever. I'm being picky, but that's what I think is a good idea. So the second alert was also a loss. Then the third alert was a series of 3 alerts in 5 minutes. It was a buy, a buy, a buy, and then a max loss. And at this point, I'm just like, what are we doing here? I mean, this is now, there's no way that you could be too busy. Like, if you can't sit in front of your computer, you're not going to be able to follow this. And by the time they're all written out, it's kind of behind the fact anyways. So really, these are a great kind of record of what they've been trading. But to me, they're not super actionable because, you know, you certainly wouldn't be able to be doing this while you're at your job. Pull up your phone, get the notification, then pull up a Robinhood app and take a trade. There's just no way. I mean, they're going in and out so quick, it's just not possible. And then the fourth alert here was, again, you know, an entry right here, and then immediately back to a max loss. So at this point, I was like getting kind of jaded on it. Fifth alert, same thing, just another, or this was S Pro, but just, another choppy stock. So this didn't work. And then, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and eventually I just got like, this is just not something that would work. So these text alerts, these weren't even text alerts, but my feeling at this point was that by the time I'm getting these, it's too late. So, you could say, well, what about a service that actually duplicates the trade for you? And while in theory, that's a nice idea, the reality is still there's going to be latency in that moment of you enter a trade and then it executes. And then if you're trading as quickly as I'm trading, and I trade this quickly, I do trade a lot. I don't think that a copy trade system would keep up with that. It would be too much slippage of like getting in, getting out, especially on a fast moving stock. Or, let's say a stock with a bigger spread. We've got this stock here today, Mullen. This only got a 6-cent spread right now, but what about MCTR? This one's got an 80-cent spread nearly, 70-cent spread. So all of a sudden, the difference between a few seconds could be 50, 60 cents a share. And that's now a huge difference in how much you make, or, right, the other side, which is how much you lose. So this alert service for me was kind of a bust. And I sort of didn't get a good feeling out of it from the beginning. So I was like, it's hard to follow. There's too many alerts, sometimes within minutes of each other. And it's just not viable for someone who's too busy to trade live. So if I was paying really close attention to it, could I have made money on some of the alerts? Yeah, I think I probably could have. But this is not viable for someone who is too busy to trade live. But the performance itself didn't stand out as being especially good. And I didn't see any audited track record that the person who's putting out these alerts is a particularly profitable trader. So I decided, all right, I'm going to go ahead and try another alert service. So now this one kind of made me laugh because buys expensive trading courses, studies the market for hours using thousands of indicators, buying trading bots, averaging down into losers right here, and then copy paste Michael's trades for just $1. So I'm like, this actually sounds perfect for me. And here it says, copy and paste my live trades and become profitable in just 7 days, guaranteed. Or I will give you a $10,000 account for wasting your time. Now, this was on June 1st, and he had 6 spots left. So I'm like, this is great. This is a guarantee. Or, I get $10,000. But a couple days later, they've also got 6 spots left. So you've got a $10,000 guarantee. You've got a false sense of urgency. And at this point, I just felt like I know exactly where this is going. And I'm not even going to waste my time. And again, I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus. So this one, I didn't even set it up. But when you see these types of things, I was like, I can't trust this. If they're saying this, then what else are they not being honest about? So did I make money with these alert services? The data is very clear, and the answer is no. So here's the flaw with the alert services. You're always going to be late. That's the primary flaw. You'll always be late, even for a professional trader. It's hard. And the fact is, it won't teach you independence. Now, I understand what you guys want. I understand that you're saying, I'm too busy to trade. I just want the alert. Just tell me where to get in, and I'll do it. And I get it. That's what you'd like. And unfortunately, people will sell that to you. But to be able to make money with it consistently over the long term, I just haven't seen it. I literally don't know anyone who has ever come to me and said, Ross, I was using this alert service for a long time. I was making, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars with it, but then I just decided I'd actually figure out how to trade myself. I've never heard anyone say that. And look, there are some very reputable people out there that offer trade alerts on text, and even, you see, I think Jim Cramer's got his action alerts. You've got people that are, they're not trying to scam you. They're putting out alerts that they really believe you'll find helpful. And look, it can be helpful to get an alert to be like, oh, this person's in this trade. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that gives me, a point of reference. But if you're trying to just use the alerts to blindly follow, you're always going to be behind, which means your winners, if the price is going up, are going to be smaller than theirs. But your losers are going to be even bigger. So it's a flawed system. And I know that's not what you want to hear, but that's the reality. So here's the right way to learn. You should watch videos and classes from third-party audited traders. Now, this sounds biased because I'm a independently third-party audited trader. You could say, Ross, you've got a bias. You've got a software company and you teach people how to trade, and you're right on all of that. But on the other hand, if you really want to be a successful trader, you're going to need to figure it out for yourself. And that means, watching videos, reading books, studying, and practicing in a simulator. But I'll tell you something, gaining financial literacy and learning more about the markets, that's time well spent. Even if you don't become a profitable day trader, that time spent is going to make you better equipped to make decisions about how you invest a 401k in the future or your Roth IRA. So there's no downside to learning more about the market, especially if you have the discipline to do it in a safe environment like a trading simulator. But here's the biggest problem. It doesn't teach you independence. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of independence. This is a book that, is something that I talk about. 5 Acres in Independence. This was written during World War II. And it was a practical guide to teaching you how to live off the land during a time when the world was at war. It was really scary. You needed to be independent. You needed self-sufficiency. And growing up in Vermont, with my great-grandfather who lost everything in the Great Depression, I have this family, instilled value that, a penny saved is a penny earned, that you've got to really think about how you're spending your money. You've got to be independent. If you could do something for yourself instead of, pay someone else to do it for you, fixing the dishwasher, fixing the car, you better do it. So I always tell people, guys, do not try to blindly follow me. And if you're going to sign up at Warrior Trading to use my software, my stock scanning, news, charting software, or if you want to go through the classes where I teach you how to use that software and I teach you my strategy, by all means, I'm happy to have you do that. But when you're listening to my broadcast, the intent of my broadcast is not for you just to try to blindly follow me. And I say that every day. The intent is that I'm putting the strategies that I teach every day on display. So it's an interactive classroom, and it's for you to learn. That's what it's all about. I want to see you learn so you can become self-sufficient and independent. And that means you can't rely on alerts. So if you know someone who's been talking about signing up for trade alerts or who has been trying to follow trade alerts and has been chronically losing money, send them this video. I wish I had seen it early on because when I first got started, I was following alerts, penny stock alerts. And most of those were blatant pump and dumps, OTC stocks that would go up and then go straight back down. So we learn these things the hard way. And hopefully you've been able to learn it here before losing any hard-earned money. Now, if after knowing that the only path to becoming a trader is paying your dues and putting in some hard work, but you want to continue learning, I'll put a link to an episode right here, which is my ultimate guide, free on YouTube, for how to start day trading. Check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it. And let me remind you, as always, my results are not typical, and there's no guarantee you'll find success, whether you learn from me or you learn on your own. So always make sure you're practicing in a simulator before putting real money on the line.